So today, this evening, first off, Happy New Year to everyone and to all the new folks that are in the community. Happy New Year to you. Hope you had a wonderful holiday and are now back and excited and ready for 2021. Hello, Shamika. So, we're going to be talking about the owner's mindset today. And so, just to level set for a second, because there are a lot of new people, a lot of you come back and watch the replay. So, as you are watching, my name is Candace Spears. I am the host inside of this community. I am a life and business coach to corporate women, helping them make their transition into full time, as well as a serial entrepreneur and real estate investor. So, what we're going to be talking about tonight is the owner's mindset. And this whole idea of when I make money, like when I touch money, I expect to make more of it, which is a super strong, super bold, just mindset and attitude all together. When I touch money, I expect to make more of it. So for those of you that are on, and Keisha, hello, welcome. For those of you that are on, so I want you to think about this, and if you're watching the replay, you go ahead and you can drop it in as well. This attitude of when I touch money, I make more of it. Would you say this is an attitude that you have now or that you need to have? So you can either drop a now in the comments or need to in the comments. All right. That attitude, when I touch money, I make more of it. Do you have that attitude now, or is it one you need to? Drop it into the comments. So as we go throughout the live today, we're going to touch on some things because I really want you to recognize both where this mindset comes from and kind of what it feels like to have this mindset. And when I'm talking about an owner's mindset throughout this series, I'm talking about that whole sense of owning your time, your talent, and your identity. And you look at those things as within your control and something that you are going to do something about. And so ownership today, as it relates to money, think of it as the one who owns the creation of their income. What you're trying to do as you're trying to get your business off the ground, right, and be able to walk away from corporate, you want to be able to have full ownership of the money that comes into your life. Okay, so that's what we mean there, just to break down a little bit of a definition. All right, so first thing, when I think about being an owner, and I see you ladies, Teresa, Shamika, need to, Keisha, need to. Okay, so this will be great for you. All right, so when I think about when I was just completely full-time immersed in corporate, I'd always been an entrepreneur at heart and all that good stuff, and actually ran a business 9 years ago as well. But I just remember when I would think about the purchases that I wanted to make, I would make them, right? It's a purchase. I want to go and buy this, I'm going to make it. I want to go and buy a car. Oh, okay. I want to go on vacation. Oh, okay. I want to just go get this thing over here so that I can read it. Oh, okay. I'll do it, right? When I think now from a complete ownership standpoint, like I own the income that comes in my life, like the money that comes into my life, that's my responsibility. When I think about purchases, and it's funny because you may think I'm going to go one way here, I'm going to go the other. When I think about purchases, there's no level of like exclusion. Oh, don't buy that, you don't need that. Nah, nothing in that level. It's not where I'm going. When I think about purchases, the add-on that I have now is, okay, so if I spend the money to buy that thing, what's it really going to get me? What's it really going to get me? And what is the return? And can I make money with that thing? Literally, that is something that I think about on the constant. And that's an owner's mindset, right? Because you own the creation of your income. So at a certain point, you start to get to a level where the things that you look at and where you think about, when you think about touching your money and putting it out into the world, you think about, well, how can I get that back? Fivefold, tenfold, fourfold, whatever. You start to think about the return. So when you touch money, right, you make more of it because you're constantly thinking about how can I put that to work, right? Kid you not, I'm in the process of getting a car that is like my dream car, and I promise you, it has crossed my mind several times, So traditionally a car is a liability, but how can I turn it into an asset? Or how could I make that car make money without my time? Because that's not happening, right? But these are owners' mindsets, right? You go from just, I'm going to touch my money to go and buy that thing to, yeah, you'll still touch money and go buy things, but you'll also have that extra layer of, and how can I make that thing make me money? Okay? All right. So if you are with me so far, just drop a, I'm with you. I'm here. I get it. Anything along those lines in the chat. So I know you're following along with where I'm going. And also for those of you that are new here, I'm typically on the live for about 20 minutes. So you can feel free as we're going in here, there's a question that pops up in your mind or, hey, can you clarify that or whatever? You can feel free to drop that into the chat. All right. So let's keep going. All right. Next thing. So speaking of return, because we're going to get into that a little bit. Okay, I see you, Natalie. We're going to get into that a little bit. When it comes to return, if you think about return right now, when you're buying something, if you think about return, like just what's my return going to be in general? If I get this thing, what do I really get? If you think about that right now, I want you to go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat if you do think about return. If you don't think about return a lot right now, drop a 2. And that is your opportunity to begin to shift as well. All right. So 1, if you think about return right now. 2, if you don't think about it as much, but you need to start making that turn. Nice. And Sam, hello, Sam. Nice. Natalie, 1. Yes. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So here's the other thing. When it comes to money, which is why that statement of when I touch money, I make more money, right, comes to, is the relationship with money is healthy. Now, when we talk about relationship, I want you to think about this for a second. Those of you that are in a relationship with a spouse, right, your partner, what have you, would your relationship survive if you never spoke to that person, never spent any time with them, never treated them well, anything like that, right? Would it survive? Probably not. So it's the same thing. That owner's mindset has a healthy relationship with money. So when I think about money, and I'll tell you some things, and Keisha, if you're still hanging around, this is where we're going to start to get into the question that you had asked in the post. But when I think about a healthy relationship with money, so one of the metrics right now that I'm going to start looking at like daily in my business is net cash flow. Daily, net cash flow. Because guess what? I have to pay attention to my money, right? If you are in an owner's mindset and you own the creation of your income, again, we're talking about making a transition, right? And you own the creation of your income, then if you're in good relationship with this thing called money, then you're going to treat it right. You're going to know what's going on with it. You're going to want to see it successful. You're going to want to make sure you can take care of it, right? And so when you think about your relationship with money, I just want you to give me a gauge of where you think you are. Just hearing all that. With your relationship with money, would you say it's great, or it's good, or maybe it sucks? Either one. Either of the 3. Go ahead and type it in the chat and let me scroll down here. Type it in the chat. So would you say your relationship with money is it great? Is it fair, or is it poor? We'll do those. Is it great? Is it fair? Is it poor? Because here's the thing. Thinking like an owner, being an owner, I know that the more money I create, the more I can impact, right? And the more I keep my money in circulation and I know what's going on with it and how to make sure it's getting the return, right? All those things go together, right? So there's that owner's mindset. All right, I'm seeing you ladies in the chat. We've got some fairs, we've got some sucks, we've got some goods. Fairs are great. Good. And here's the thing. So I want you to be aware right now, right? Even think about your response right now. Because as you're pushing towards that owner's mindset, you want to get it into a place where you and your money are pals. Like you're in a good relationship, right? That makes sense. You know what's going on with it. So let me bring this to Keisha's point. I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss anything here. Well, one thing I did want to mention is just the fact that circulation is powerful. So as an owner, circulation of money itself. So as an owner, you recognize, right? I recognize that my money just sitting in the bank, it's not great. Like I cannot create the level of money that I want to with it just sitting in the bank. And especially given today's economy and we're printing money, right? That's not going to happen. But I do know that if my money is in circulation, right, if I have invested it here, whether that is in myself, in my businesses, that can show up as marketing dollars, advertising dollars, hiring a coach, getting a course, whatever it is. It can show up as I choose to put money in real estate, right? It can show up that way. It can show up as I choose to invest in someone that is close to me so that they can create value and create income in the world. Whatever it is, circulation, right? Touching the money, allowing it to circulate, you create more of it. Okay? All right, so let me get to Keisha's question. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about when I say Keisha's question, first off, for most of you who may be joining here new, like I mentioned before, I'm usually live every Thursday for just about 20 minutes on a particular topic and theme for the month. I always ask in this community what things you'd like to hear more of, and that's the basis of my content. So I don't like to do things that you're not interested in learning about because that's kind of a waste of time for everybody. So Keisha asked a question, and Keisha, you can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but it was around accounts and just how many accounts to have. So Keisha, if you're hanging out in the chat, just do a quick confirmation for me that, yep, that is right, or no, Candace, you got it wrong. And I'm going to go along the lines of what I think is right, and then we'll adjust course. So when it comes to accounts and a question about accounts and about bank accounts and that type of thing, so my personal preference is to stay on the side of simple. So when I say simple, you'll typically have what? A business checking account. I'm going to speak solely from the business perspective for a second. So a business checking account, a business savings account, maybe you have a business credit card, right? You have those things and they're simplified. The reason I say stay simple, yep, that's it. Okay. The reason I say stay simple is because remember when I talked about this relationship with money, how you want to know what's going on with it, like you want to know each other, like you're dating each other every day. I know what's going on with you. You didn't call me back, like that type of thing. Well, it becomes increasingly challenging when you are breaking it out in so many different places. So let's say, well, I decided to put a pot over here that's for this particular thing, then a pot that's for this particular thing, then an account that's for this thing and this thing and this thing. Unless you have something that can bring it all together where you can see what's going on, you can see the money moving. Remember when I told you that one of the things that I'm starting to look at is net cash flow on a daily basis? Well, I have myself set up in a simplified way where I can see. So if there are expenses that are coming out and there's revenue that's coming in, I can see all that in a very simplified way. So the bottom line is it's not so much number of accounts, but what it is can you get a simplified view of what's happening with your money, right? Your money, this thing that you are using, this energy exchange, really that's all it is. That's all money is energy exchange of value for value, right? Goods, services, whatever it is just an exchange, a measure of exchange. So with that, as long as you can see and you know what's going on, right? And you can stay in good relationship with your money, then pick the number that you want, but I suggest you stay on the simplified side. Does that answer your question, Keisha? And while Keisha is coming back with either another question or whether or not that answered her question, if there's anybody else that has a question in the chat, go ahead and drop it in the comments. And I'm just looking here. I'm only going to be around here for just a few more minutes. So go ahead and drop it in if you do have a question. But I do want to leave you with this, right? This is your big to-do. So the whole idea of having this owner's mindset, and again, we'll continue this series with different topics throughout the month of January. But when it comes to money, if you do not have this healthy relationship with money, I know what's going on. Like, we're together, we are best friends, we are whatever, we are partners for life, right? If you don't have that intimate connection, it is going to be hard for you to step into that statement of, when I touch money, I make more of it. Because you got to know what's going on with it. You have to care enough to look after it. One of the things that my husband and I did, so we've got an accountant. And so one of the things that my husband and I did, one of the most exciting calls, right, of 2020, before the year ended, was to sit down with the accountant. And it was more of a tax preparation thing, right? Tax planning. At a certain point, you start thinking about taxes before it's tax time. That's just what you do. And so that call and the energy of that call, that's doing right by your money, right? That's taking your money to the spa. It's taking your money out on a date. That is the type of attitude that when you touch it, you make more of it. You've got the intention. You're ready to do well and do good. So if this has been helpful to you, just drop a "it helped" or some type of emoji that makes sense in the chat, so that I know that this was valuable to you. And while you're doing that, so next week, on next week's live, I know I've made a mention of it and people have asked me about it. I am planning to do some type of workshop to help you, just empowering your momentum. Really, it'll really just be like maybe a 2-hour workshop. It'll be something small, something you can invest in. So just a 2-hour workshop, something small. What I believe I will do is I will put out a few, maybe 2 to 3 different topics for a deeper dive workshop, in which you could get into a Zoom, and we can do sort of a focused type of thing on a particular topic. So my plan is to get that out by next week. At least have it posted in the group by next week. That's the plan. So if that's something that you are interested in, and something you're interested in investing in for yourself to power your momentum, I will have it out there, and there'll at least be a poll, so you can kind of decide whichever one people are more interested in is the one that I will take the time to establish a workshop for. All right, so that is that. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening, rest of your week. Latoya, I can tell in your heart that you really want to help. Thank you so much for doing this. Oh, absolutely. I do. It is my joy, and I feel like it is my God-given calling. So Latoya, I'm so happy that you're here. Stacy, I'm glad that this reached you as well. You ladies enjoy like talking to each other and being around the community and all this good stuff. And I will talk to you soon. See you later.